Hello, Miss Love. I'm Detective Mason, and this is Detective Jones. We're here to take a report from you.
I'm okay. It's nothing.
This review is for He Only Hit Me 4 Times. I love the format, the script, the honesty and vulnerability, great reenactments of the situations that both women have to pass through and survive. It's quite inspiring and actually heartbreaking. The title is absolutely clever, and I think it's a very sensible approach to a situation that's sadly growing statistically, and um, it's a great script. I enjoyed looking at it from the lens of surviving and thriving after, and just being able to get out of that. It's not everyone can, as it's showcased there too, but great story.
He Only Hit Me 4 times. I thought this was a really, really powerful movie. And I loved the message behind it of just because your situation isn't the worst version of situation, isn't the situation that gets talked about in the news all the time, doesn't mean that it negates what you're going through. And I think that what she was trying to kind of describe was her convincing herself that being in an abusive relationship wasn't a term that really applied to her, and B, that because it was only a few times, that it wasn't as bad as an abusive relationship, when the reality is that it doesn't matter how many times, it doesn't matter the degree of abuse. Abuse is abuse, and it's a bad relationship, and it can always get worse. And like, she found out through her very good friend, if you don't get out, sometimes the unthinkable can happen to you. And I thought it, like I said, it was a really, really powerful movie. I really appreciated how she kind of walked through their story, and how there were years where it was good, and it wasn't just that it started happening and it got progressively worse over a relatively short amount of time, that this was years in the making. And when you're thinking about leaving a relationship, any relationship, and you have so much time behind that relationship that you've already invested in, the more amount of time that you've been together, the harder it is to walk away as a just natural state. But then you add in abuse and struggling with that, and maybe being scared about what's going to happen afterwards if you do leave and things like that, just adds another layer into that and another level into that, of going to show just how hard that decision is, but ultimately how it can be the best, most life-saving decision that you can make. And like I said, I thought this was a really, really well done, really, really powerful movie. The way that she moved through the story, the way that she approached everything. I liked how they had the moments with her when it was clearly after everything and she was kind of recounting, along with the kind of recreations and the flashbacks of like when it was actually happening. I liked how they did both. I thought it worked really, really well, of telling the story, but also providing the insight that she learned by reflecting back on it after she wasn't in that experience anymore, which I think worked together really, really well to make it that much more powerful and that much more impactful, which is what I really think this film was.
He Only Hit Me 4 Times is such a powerful piece. It tackles domestic violence in such an intelligent, compassionate, and visceral way through an almost Fox documentary style, with these recreation moments that don't dwell on showing the violence but instead exploring the aftermath and impact that it can have emotionally and physically on the psyche. It thankfully ends happily, but also reminds us that so many of these stories often don't. Really powerful storytelling here.
He Only Hit Me Four Times is a short film that is really poetic. It consists of a mix of a standalone monologue matched with this series of memories and incidents of these occasions of where our main character has dealt with abuse and overcome it with the strength and resilience and unfortunate occurrence that happened in this character's life, correct? And so we have this character, she is in a domestic violence situation, and she sort of breaks down the crumbling of this relationship as it falls further and further deeper into the abusive realm. And you get a really nice, well surface as to what may or may not be considered abuse to some people. And when you are given a situation to help someone out and you decide to act a certain way, there may be consequences with that. And those consequences may follow you till the end of your days, and they might inspire you to do something good. I think what was so beautiful is that you get to see a death of a character that is really important to the main character, and in doing so, this leads her to not only leave her situation, but in addition to that, create an organization that helps people that have been like those that are not only like her, but have been someone that's very close to her. That realization that that could have been me. And taking the steps to step outside of that zone is a very strong and important message to hear.